Back again at the SPARQ Observatory, and we're ready for the next step in our astrophotography processing. This is one of the more simple steps that we have to do. It's called cosmetic correction, and we're just going to jump right into PixInsight here, which I have open. The nice thing about cosmetic correction is that it can be done on all of the images at once, regardless of the filter. So unlike when we were doing the subframe selector to determine what images we wanted to keep, and unlike when we were doing calibration frames, when we were applying calibration frames to our raw images, those processes required that we deal with one filter's images at a time. Cosmetic correction, we can apply to all of them at the same time. Cosmetic correction looks for hot and cold pixels. So these are pixels that are hotter than they should be, and cold pixels are ones that are undercharged. And so PixInsight has an algorithm to look at all the images and see if there are any pixels that need to be corrected for. So even though we've done calibration frames get rid of almost all of the defects that we can get rid of, but there may be a few hot or cold pixels left over, and if we can clean those up with a pretty easy process, we're going to do that. So we're going to go again under process. Most of what we do in PixInsight is under process, although as we get deeper in, we'll be using some scripts, and there'll be some other commands outside of process and script that we use. All processes, scroll down here to cosmetic correction. And this should start to look familiar to you. We have a tool that's open, cosmetic correction, where you have to add some files, and you have to select a folder where the files that have been cosmetically corrected will go to. And we have one other thing we need to do in here, but let's start by adding our files. And up to now, we've only just been dealing with Lumen, but let's just imagine that in our calibrated image folder here, that we have not just lumens, but all of our images, L, RGB, narrowband, etc. We're going to select all of them. And so you may end up with many, many hundreds of images in this add file section, in the target frame section up here. Output is going to be the next folder up beyond calibrated. We have the next folder, name of your target, cosmetic correction. We're going to select that. And then finally, we need to do a little bit of work down here, and we're going to select use auto detect. And so this is going to detect hot pixels if we select that, and cold pixels, and these defaults of 3 are just fine. And then once we're here, it's pretty simple. We just click the Apply Global button, and away we go. And we will see you when this process is finished running. PixInsight, the cosmetic correction tool, has finished running. And again, we know this because the progress window that would normally be open in the lower right-hand corner here is gone. If it is open, you can just close it. At the bottom of the progress window, it will say whether it's running or whether it's ready, meaning that it's already done its work. So we're going to come down here just to check that, make sure that the images went into the correct folder. Looks like we're going to have to go back to here and targets, and here is our little galaxy, and we're now in the 4th folder, cosmetic correction, and we should see a bunch of images in here, and we do. So again, you can apply cosmetic correction to all of the images at once, regardless of filter. We just did Lumen because that's all that we're processing for right now. And we have added, PixInsight has added the CC at the end. So now that stands for cosmetic correction. So far PixInsight has added A for approved, C for calibration frames, that the images have been calibrated, and now CC for cosmetic correction. So we are all done with cosmetic correction. Pretty painless little tool to use, and does a lot of good for your images. See you at the next process.